Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the SmallWorld Soccer Report. If you are watching us on YouTube right now, you can see the smiling face of Christian Franek. Less attractive, but still smiling face. Christian Franek, for those who do not know, is the famed and world-renowned club general manager of Palm Beach Breakers Association Football Club, otherwise known as just Palm Beach Breakers. Christian, welcome to the show. It is an absolute pleasure to have you here with us.
Thank you, Danny. It's a pleasure to be a part of this, and thank you for the invitation.
Excellent. Appreciate you shouting me out. I will take care of the bribe that I offered later for being Small World. But speaking of Small World, where else could we start? We have to get things going with Weirdness of the Week. There is no other place to go. And there is certainly plenty of weirdness. I mean, we literally did this in the midweek, like a couple of days ago. We recorded an episode for a week and a half of weirdness. And it's been a couple of days, and there's already still a whole segment of weirdness to talk about because it's lower league soccer, and that's kind of how we roll. But first off, something that broke today that I saw like maybe a couple of hours ago is from the lower league E-Cup, which I know both of us were associated with that, which is probably most people because it's brand new. Lower league E-Cup, and Joe Meyer, who runs the E-Cup, big fan of his. He has come out with a summer series that will basically be like this no commitment one night tournament. And it'll be over 3 different nights over the next couple of months. So there's one coming, I think July 22nd is the first one. And then there's a couple in August. But it's a really, really cool idea to just get people involved who can only play on one night, or, who just want to play and have something going on and to keep interest going. And I thought that was a fantastic idea. I had heard nothing of it. And it just came out. I was like, whoa, that's cool. But yes, I'm very excited to see how this turns out because the E-Cup itself was awesome. I cannot wait for the real thing to come back in January. But it's nice to have something to tide me over while we wait for January to come back. I cannot get enough lower league E-Cup. What are your initial thoughts on that, assuming you're hearing this for the first time, Christian?
Yeah, no, I knew you guys had something planned. I hadn't heard actually the full information that you're providing. I think that's a great idea. Obviously, the first E-Cup was very successful and got us through a very barren time on the soccer scene, especially in the United States. And I think the fact that it's going to be shorter and more focused on somewhat immediate gratification the timing is just right, because with the leagues coming back, people's attention will probably not be quite as committed to the long haul that the first E-Cup was.
Right. Yeah, no, it was a grueling season. It really was. And it was especially grueling for those of us who did not really win that much, which would definitely myself.
Oh, that's why you had us on.
Yeah, I really wanted to help myself.
That's an example. I see.
No, I needed it, man.
I will say this: just take the Australian League out of any competition, because you're immediately at a disadvantage.
Well, they were all on 85, though. That's not even an excuse. They were all the same. But yeah, so I predicted you guys to go pretty far, and you kind of let me down. I'm not gonna lie. I have to ask: were you the one controlling the teams, or who did you have doing that?
No, we actually had real players from our roster who wanted to do it. Nice. A lot of our guys played the different video games. So we had one of our best defenders, and then another guy who is kind of more of an indoor specialist. And we had the same complaint from both of them. And I'm not saying it was rigged, but
Getting some controversy involved now. Man, poor Joe Meyer thought it was over. He's like, oh man, no more controversy. It's over. And Christian's going to come in here and just give us some more. Unbelievable.
The Spanish teams just seem way faster than the Australian team. That's probably true in reality as well. Yeah, I don't know.
You're not wrong. That's probably a pretty realistic expectation. That's hilarious. Yeah, but no, it wasn't even close though. I'm pretty sure, especially the Xbox one, I was like, man, I'm feeling the Breakers on this one. And then it was like, I don't know, man, like negative 30 something goal differential. It was crazy.
Yeah, I think after our guys got beat a couple of times, it's no different than in the real world. Yeah, they just got down on themselves and gave up.
No, that happens. It does happen. I feel like that happened to me too. I lost like 9-0 one game, and it was like the game before the playoffs started. And then I lost a couple of games that I really should have won. So, well, we can both blame that. We can blame the with a 50% capacity at Lynn Family Stadium. What is your idea of trying to make that work? And do you think that affects the play on the field at all? Does that give Louisville City an advantage? Or in those other clubs who get to have players at their home games? What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I know. I think having fans at the stadium, even if it's a smaller capacity, is going to be a huge advantage.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched some of the first Bundesliga matches or even some of the EPL matches when they first started back, but there's definitely kind of getting used to not having that going on. And, eventually they do get back into, just being as competitive as they probably were, very close to it prior to COVID. But I will say, just coming from a legal background, one of the things that these club owners and anybody that has ownership interests in any of these clubs and matches or stadiums is that's a tough call, because the potential liability is there. And I'm not sure you can say on a ticket, typically on a ticket for a fan, it says, you can't, by coming to this event, there are certain things that you can't hold us liable for. I'm not sure if COVID would be covered, even if it's said on the ticket, you're taking full responsibility for potentially getting COVID. And I'm not even sure that the agreements with the players would be, ironclad. You don't know how good terms like that are until they're challenged. And, then it's in the hands of a judge or a jury. And, having knowledge that this could potentially happen, or, depending on how possible it could happen, everybody's exposing themselves one way or the other, exposing themselves to potentially being infected and exposing themselves to potentially being sued. So it's a tough call, like you said. I mean, this is a new era and a new ground we're covering here. And I don't know, in some ways, being a really small club and not worrying about some of those things, because we don't have any money. So even if we got sued, what would we end up with? Half of nothing is nothing. So not to make light of it, but there's a lot of things to consider.
Yeah, no, that's right. And I mean, even having fewer fans at your matches, that's a huge alleviation of one of those big problems, because you don't have to deal with, triple digits, quintuple digits, of people coming to your games. Now you're looking at, I mean, I don't know what y'all's attendance numbers are, but, somewhere between like 100 and 1,000, for UPSL. So, I mean, it's just a totally different animal, a much easier one to tame.
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, and it's still there, of course. There's still a lot to deal with, but yeah, man, do not envy the championship clubs right now trying to figure that out. But
yeah, and I don't know if we were going to get into it anyway, but I will say this: USL has gotten more impressive as far as like them understanding what the fans want, and also understanding that there needs to be a more competitive offering. And the fact that they have Championship, League One, League Two, and now going into academies, they're starting to look more and more like the most viable and successful league, even other than MLS, because MLS is so stuck on their model. I don't want to badmouth them the whole time, although I definitely could.
It would be easy.
So I'm excited for what USL is doing. Hopefully, the people in charge of NISA and UPSL and even MPSL are taking notes. And we got to get past this in the high school guys and put that below the UPSL. And man, there you go. You have your whole, the makings of a substantial pyramid right there.
Yeah. Then you keep the academy and you've got the youth players. Yeah, that's a strong system, man. There really is. And then if you add NISA in there, that you really have the potential. Obviously, we know this. In the U.S., there's a huge potential for a league like that to do really well. We just haven't tapped into it yet. So hopefully sometime soon, it won't just be us sitting here dreaming about it. We'll actually have it.
Exactly.
And I would certainly like that. But yeah, so all that being said, all eyes on USL Championship to see how this kind of mini season plays out. There are definitely a lot of good teams that we will be watching. And then finally, because we're still on Weirdness of the Week, we have Minneapolis City, who is always going to be in the weirdness somewhere. The Crows have announced MPLS City Futures, which is their kind of new name for a U23 side that they are announcing, or like a kind of a whole youth academy. We were talking about a USL academy just now, and it almost feels like the Crows are creating their own pyramid within one club. It's crazy. They're doing a little bit of everything, and they're doing it all with excellence. And this is no different. They have been kind of teasing this for a while, and I think a couple days ago they finally released this. I am very excited to see that youth team because you look at the quality of Minneapolis City, and just not necessarily like the on-field talent, which is quality, but just the front office and the people running that club are really putting thought and effort into everything they do. So that makes me think that's going to be a really quality academy side. I'm excited about that.
So I'll go ahead and jump in because I've never really quite understood at our level and MPLS cities level. They must have a lot of players is what made them do that. Because if you have a U23 player that's any good at all, they're going to be playing.
He's going to play. Yeah.
Your team.
He's going to be on the first
team that's competing in your first team. So they must have a lot of play. And who are they going to play? So, yeah.
I'm guessing other youth sides. I think
U23 is not really youth, though. I mean, U23 is like those are adults that are playing in that team as well.
And I'm gonna just check myself here and make sure that I'm not. This could be a mistake. Is it actually U23 or is it? No, it's U20. So it's
okay. Right, that makes more sense.
That was a mistake from myself. I am no longer perfect. I was for 19 years, but no longer. That's unfortunate. But yeah. So
like
it's the 20 and under.
It's a bit like your E-Cup season, Danny.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I was gonna get mad, but then I realized you were totally right, so I can't. So yeah. So a 20 and under. Project here, which makes a lot more sense. Which still, that's a lot of players to have to be able to say we have an entire team of under 20 players. Because I think you still look at your 19 and 20-year-olds, and if they're at that quality level, especially now that they have a UPSL side along with the UPSL side, they have a lot of players in that system. It's very exciting to see.
No, that is good, and that makes much more sense because then they can play against other U20 or U19 teams in the local area. So now I get that. Those will be more like a developmental squad, but I'm sure if they have a player that is 16 or older and they can recognize right away they're a very good player, they'll be playing on the competitive first team.
Yes. A young Crow.
I mean, that's the way we handle it anyway.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, no, I think
like young guys, but and we know they're not going to stick around for long because a lot of them are working on either going to college or trying to get an opportunity on a B team or something like that. And we've had that happen. We had one guy go over to Europe. He's playing in Germany for Darmstadt. And then we have a player who graduated from high school last year and is now in college in Illinois.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man, making moves over in Palm Beach. That's crazy.
We're trying to, man. I mean, we want, and without getting deep into this because you probably had it for later, I mean, we want to be essentially like the USL is trying to be as a league. We want to be that as a club where you start with us. Then they play on the developmental team, then they play on the B team or whatever, then they play on the first team, and as they get older, we'll even offer like over 30 and stuff like that. We want to be cradle to grave, considered as much a part of the community as the name West Palm Beach. So,
right, yeah,
gotta have a vision, I guess.
That's sounds like a perfect idea to me, man. Just keep playing soccer for Palm Beach Breakers until you die.
Exactly.
I'd be down.
Breakers till you die.
Yeah, I like it. But yeah, that's some exciting stuff out of Minneapolis. And that is all the weirdest that we have. And so what we're going to do is move forward to our next segment, which is Small World Superfan. So this is where we take a moment to recognize a fan of Small World who deserves the awesomeness and recognition. And we've already talked about him. It's Joe Meyer from Lower League E-Cup. This is a wonderful man. I love this man. First of all, because of the absolute fantastic job he did with the Lower League E-Cup. I mean, super professional, really well run. Like we've talked about, perfect timing. And it's just a really, really well done tournament all around. But outside of that, he has been very supportive of Small World Soccer. I've done a lot of content on the E-Cup, which was helpful. And then he's been following our Small World Summer Madness too, which has been fun. So yeah, big fan of Lower League E-Cup for being a big fan of Small World. If you are listening to this right now and you are not following the Lower League E-Cup, first of all, what are you doing? Because it's the Lower League E-Cup. They're doing some cool stuff right now. You better follow them anyway. But now I'm telling you, follow them right now. Follow them. Follow them. Do it. I'm ordering you. I have a Palm Beach break. Well, technically it was Gold Coast Inner. I have a Gold Coast Inner jersey on right now. You cannot deny this. You cannot deny it. Do it right now. Follow them. Everyone. Yeah. While you listen, don't even stop listening to it. Right? Hey, pause it. Follow them and then play it again. Okay, I'm serious. I'm not kidding. It's for real. Anyway, but yes, no, a big fan of Lower League E-Cup. Thoughts on Joe and the work he's done with the E-Cup?
Oh, dude, I mean, unbelievable. I can't believe how. I mean, it's one thing to throw it together in the condensed amount of time that was there. It's another thing to put it together like it's something that's professionally done and been around for a while. I mean, that was amazing.
It's crazy. And this man's younger than I am. Like he just graduated high school. Like,
wow.
Yeah, no, and I had no idea about that for a while. I mean, it was seriously like it was a whole team of professionals, but it was just a high school kid. Like, it's crazy. This man is insane.
Yeah. And it's going to pay off for sure.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Yeah. No, hopefully that just keeps skyrocketing like it has. I mean, he went from like completely starting it in March or something, maybe April. Started a Twitter account, 0 followers, obviously, because he had just started it. And now he's got like 700 something. And that's more than Small World has since last August. So this man is hustling, and he is working hard and doing some cool stuff.
I'm sure he's already hopefully reached out to like some of the game manufacturers or whatever, because it was funny, like in the first week or two that everything started to shut down, like I realized like this was a great opportunity for esports as well. And I sent out like a Twitter thing to every esports account I could find. And I was like, do any of you have any interest in starting esports or e-soccer season? Because I'm telling you, the demand will be there, or the interest will be there.
Yeah.
And it was awesome when you and Mr. Meyer, what is his name again? I'm sorry.
Joe Meyer.
Came out and did what you did, because that probably helped a lot of, and I don't want to put too big of a emphasis on it, but when you're a fan of a sport, it affects you a little bit psychologically or mentally.
Yeah, it does.
It's like that.
This is true.
So to have that was like probably helpful to a lot of fans, and hopefully none of them would have been too terribly bothered, but it helped probably ease a lot of minds.
Right. Yeah, no, I mean, it was sad. I mean, and I remember like March Madness going away for basketball. I was like, that was when it first hit in. I was like, oh my gosh, this is a problem.
I can't believe they just said, nope, we're not doing it.
I mean, it was shock for me, because that was my childhood. Like growing up, that was my thing. I remember like being real little and like I just loved being able to stay up until midnight. It was like, whoa, I get to stay up until midnight and watch all these games. It was the best, man. Seriously, I lived for March, and then like it got canceled. I was like, whoa, like hold on, like because it was already kind of mounting, like that idea of like, oh man, like the world is crazy, and then it hit right then. I was like, oh gosh. But seriously, you're right. Sports do that. Like, and I think we've noticed that only now, like how important sports really are beyond the game and beyond, what's on the field or on the whatever court. But just the essence of sports means something to our culture, and it means something big, and we've seen that now that we've lost it. It's crazy.
Totally.
But yeah, no, a big fan of Joe Meyer. You better follow him. I'll get on my rant again if you haven't done it yet, okay? And nobody wants that. You want to hear the rest of the podcast. All right.
So real quick, just for clarification, does he have are you saying for people to follow his business or his personal account?
All of it. Follow all of it. I know of the Lower League E Cup account, but I mean, do some research, find it, make another one, and follow that. Make one. Just make a Joe Meyer Stan account and follow that too. Make it all. Do it. But yes, no, Lower League E Cup account. Follow him there. But yeah, no, and then we will now move forward and hear a little bit more about Palm Beach Breakers, which is why most of you have probably tuned in. So I can shut up now and allow Christian to talk a little bit more about the awesomeness that Palm Beach Breakers is up to. So Christian, this is your time to shine. Tell us a little bit about kind of the beginnings. Take us back even to Gold Coast Inter. And tell us a little bit
where it all
how you started it, and kind of where you're at now.
Sure. So I'll try to do the condensed version because I could just go on and on, I'm sure. So originally, I moved back to Florida because I went to law school here. I moved back in 2011. And I've been involved in soccer on a youth academy and just following European teams and leagues mostly for probably like 20 years or so. And I played in high school, and nobody wants to hear about that. And I played in college. Anyway, I moved back to South Florida in 2011 and had run a youth league and academy and summer camp and all that stuff. And I was like, just getting used to my surroundings at first. But then I was like, I got to get back involved, because once you get bit by the bug, that's it.
Can't get away from it.
And so I think it was like 2013 or 2014, started thinking about potentially having some, helping build some sort of competitive club. And interesting enough, came up with the name of the club, Inter Miami. And yeah.
No way.
Yes,
way.
Yeah.
Well, pass that up.
Yeah. So actually, shortly thereafter, David Beckham announced that he was going to start an MLS team down here. And no talk about the name or anything.
Right.
But I was like, dude, it's got to be Inter Miami. So me and several other people who liked the name and everything created a website, created different social media accounts, and we were like, got to be Inter Miami, and it's got to be partially, like, the name has to be owned by the fans. Well, between 2014 and 2020, there was so much up and down and all around and everything. And in the meantime, I moved. I was living down in Sunny Isles, which is Miami-Dade, and then moved up to Fort Lauderdale, and then now I'm up in Palm Beach County and just south of West Palm Beach. And but I knew I still wanted to do that, and I hadn't given up on Inter Miami. But at the same time, you can't have a club called Inter Miami in West Palm Beach, although perhaps MLS would disagree with that now that there's an Inter Miami team in Fort Lauderdale.
You can bend the rules a little bit.
So anyway, they never contacted us, and it's still somewhat of a dispute as to, you know, who should have asked for permission or not or whatever. But I don't want to get bogged down in that. So anyway, once I moved up to the West Palm Beach area, which I love, and I love Palm Beach County, I just kind of sat around for a year and read the tea leaves and the local environment and landscape, and started researching about Palm Beach and West Palm Beach and their interest in soccer. Well, it turns out that West Palm Beach and Palm Beach County have, like, regularly blown, like, much bigger cities and counties and areas out of the water when it comes to watching certain amounts of soccer, whether it was English Premier League or the national team or other events, World Cups. And I was like, why in the world doesn't this area have, like, its own team? It would seem like this is a no-brainer. And I've spoken with both NISA and USL, and we've had that conversation, and they're like, oh yeah, we noticed that as well, and you know, we want to talk to you guys, and blah blah blah. And so that gives me some hope. But at the time, there was, like, nothing even close to a semi-pro team that anybody was aware of around here. And I was like, all right, well, this has got the makings of some potential. And there's a local competitive recreational league called BASL, Beaches Adult Soccer League. And very amateur. It's not competitive. I mean, it's competitive to a certain level, but, you know, not UPSL level, not NPSL level, and not even close, really. But a lot of the local good talent was playing in that recreational league because they didn't know where else to go. There were no options that they were aware of. So I just signed up for a season in BASL, and I just went out there and I explained it to the guy who runs the league locally, and he was like, 100%, let's make this happen, because it can only be good publicity for them as well. And we just got a group of guys that weren't already committed to a team together, and we told them what we were doing, and everybody bought in, gravitated towards it, and everything. And then the league started to help us get the better players on the team that, you know, weren't already committed to other teams, and we kind of created a super team in just a matter of a few seasons.
Yeah.
And that was Gold Coast Inter. And so after a few seasons, and we won the league, we won the playoff championship, and the guys on the team were like, we're ready to go to the next level. So UPSL was still fairly new in South Florida, but they had been watching us. And so we reached out to them, and they met us halfway, and you know, we were able to put some things together where Gold Coast Inter was actually the first team that we put in the UPSL.
Yeah.
And we were competitive enough in our first season to make the playoffs. So we were happy about that. Yeah. And we did okay. And we realized a lot of things about how expensive it is at the next level.
Yeah.
So the next season is when we had the rebrand, I think. And Icarus FC helped us a lot with that. And the name was a no-brainer. Palm Beach Breakers is Breakers has multiple meanings. So for our purposes, a breakers is a breaking waves. But there's also a hotel on the island of Palm Beach that's been around and really was kind of one of the foundations of this area called the Breakers Hotel. And so it has at least double entendre, perhaps multiple entendre. And but it became, an obvious and attractive name and brand and identity. And so then we went through another season in UPSL. We took a little step back because it's still hard to find. Money is such a huge consideration at our level, and we weren't able to get the commitment for last fall. So we took a little bit of a step back to a regional league called Florida Gold Coast League out of Broward. And some good teams are in there. Hamarshi. There's another team called Islands United. There's another team called Predators. There's another team called Lauderdale SC. And while it was competitive at times, unfortunately, our players didn't feel like it was a level that they were comfortable with. So we had a little bit of issues with getting enough guys out there and so forth. And the league kind of got disorganized towards the end. So we made a commitment this season, well, technically spring season, to play in UPSL, and we reached back out to them, and they were welcoming us back, and we were all set to go. And then, boom, the wheels came off. Right as we were getting started. So our foundation is really based on being fan and player owned, because just you really need somebody with a much deeper wallet than any one of us personally has to play at the level we want to play. So we figure if we can generate enough interest from fans and sponsors and players and enough revenue, that we can make it, not necessarily comfortably, but we can make it through seasons in UPSL. And that's always subject to change. But if anybody wants to go to our Facebook page, you'll see a whole proposal that I try to keep as updated as possible for getting individual or group investors involved, so that we can take another step and really be a community-based club that people from the greater West Palm Beach area feel like they have ownership in, literally and figuratively, and they're a part of, like I said, from cradle to grave. You want to be a player and for Palm Beach Breakers, we'll start you early and we'll let you off at the last stop, which could even be like, some sort of what do they call those leagues where the older guys play? Past over 30. Legends and legends,
Legends league. Some nice way to say like old guys.
Right. Yeah, exactly. The older guy.
Yeah.
That'll awesome. Be me soon enough.
Oh man. But yeah, no, it's very cool to hear like the idea of player ownership at such a small level, because you hear about it in Germany, with a 50+1 rule, or in the Bundesliga or in big places, but like it really works at a small level too. I don't think a lot of people have a whole lot of examples of that. So it's cool to see you guys kind of almost blazing that trail. And I know Hamarshi is right there alongside you guys doing that too, doing a great fan ownership. But But yeah, just a really cool thing to see how you guys have bounced around a little bit and just kind of found your sweet spot and just been really trying to represent an underrepresented city. You know, I mean, because it is shocking that you guys are at the highest level of play that really represents Palm Beach. You know, there's got to be so much quality soccer that's there and so much fan support that could be tapped into.
Right.
And I don't know what the future might hold, but I would be super pumped to see you guys in NISA or to see you guys in USL, anywhere in that system. That would be fun, man. That would be awesome.
Yeah, and that's like I mentioned earlier, we've spoken with both USL League One representatives as well as NISA representatives, and both of them have been great. NISA even invited us down to the championship they had last fall, and we were in there up in their what's it called, the area, the closed-in area, the really nice. So they had a full spread and everything. It was great.
Oh, man.
So that's, not the immediate thing that we're trying to pursue, because we have much more basic things that we're pursuing. But that's definitely the next level that we would prefer to go to. And it's about getting the right people involved at this point, I think.
The people with $10 million in their pocket.
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that does seem to be a bit of a conundrum for us people who do not have $10 million.
It's a big jump. I mean, people like to split hairs between NPSL and UPSL, but they're essentially the same level. So a UPSL team shouldn't be that interested in moving to NPSL. They don't offer anything that much more interesting or beneficial. But a jump to either USL League One or NISA, that's a substantial jump. As far as professional, but it's also a bigger jump as far as the amount of money that's needed, as you pointed out. I mean, you can run a season in UPSL, not a year, but a season at about $6,000, which they probably don't want me to say, but that's, you can do it. And $6,000 for everybody that's, not a millionaire is actually, we're all, scrambling to figure out how to spread it out so that, everybody feels like they're investing but not being taken advantage of to a certain extent. And so we do the best we can. So other than that, you got to make this giant jump from 6,000 a season to 10, like you said, 10 million to, I guess, get into the league, but I'm sure it doesn't cost that much to run the season. It can't. Right. And
sure,
but you have all the travel considerations. You have all the all the equipment considerations, all the promotion and marketing considerations. It's not cheap, and MLS isn't even making money off soccer. That's the secret that some people might not know, but many do.
Yeah, no, so I don't even know where to start on MLS. I mean, you could be Inter Miami over there. I mean, because clearly that you don't have to be in Miami to be Inter Miami. Be like outer Miami or something. I don't know.
There's a guy that on Twitter that has that
gotta
account.
be like Miami. Just form this derby, and like neither one of you are actually in Miami. That would be fantastic. Just have like the fake
city.
It would be
funny, but it would only be good for that purpose, really.
No, just for the laughs. Legitimately, just for the comedy of it. No. But yeah, no, it'd be very cool to see you guys at a professional level that isn't MLS.
Right.
Because it's gonna happen. But yeah, I mean, just it's still a dream, obviously, because that's a lot of money, but a fun dream nonetheless.
Yeah. Well, you got to have different goals, right? There's that season goal or the week by week goal.
Right.
And then there's the long-term goal.
Yeah. No, you need that diversity of goals. Yes, indeed. It is soccer. We need as many goals as possible.
Yeah, makes it
So
more.
yeah, that pretty much covers all I was trying to hear from you about the Breakers. It cool to see kind of the backstory and then where we might see the near future. But in the very very near future, you guys are coming back to play. So you play tomorrow, I hear. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay. So the team we are playing against, it's a friendly, by the way. The team we're playing against is also in the UPSL. They are called International Soccer Association. And we've played them many times before. It's a friendly, I wouldn't even call it a rivalry. It's just a friendly kind of get together. Every local team is going to have a little bit of an edge to it, but they've always been great with us, and it's going to be at their field, Veterans Memorial Park out in West Boca Raton. It's going to be hot, pretty sure of that. But if you play at all in South Florida, you're well equipped. We got tents, we got coolers of water, we got whatever we can do to help the players get through it. But we're excited. We had a huge training on Wednesday night where we had almost 30 players out there, I think, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be a good chance for these guys to get back on the field because a lot of them have been, like the rest of us, sitting on the couch, watching too much Netflix, drinking too much soda, eating too many chips. And so it'll be good. It'll be an opportunity, and we're going to stream it live on MyCuju. Just look up Palm Beach Breakers on MyCuju, and you will see how to stream it live. I'm going to send the address to Danny after we get done here, and hopefully everything will go well, and it'll be an opportunity to kind of release some of the tension and pressure that has been building up in Florida, and hopefully it'll be fun. Mostly fun, educational for the coaches to see who's where and who can be involved for what we think will be a season in the UPSL upcoming. At least for us, probably won't start until July 18th.
Right, and then that's an interesting thing that we bring up too, because obviously we've already talked about, there's a lot that goes into that decision to play or not to play and to have fans. Right. I assume having fans isn't as big of a thing for you guys, but what was the decision like to decide, yeah, we do want to schedule a friendly right now. We want to do this. And what's the plan for keeping everybody safe?
Right. So the coach for International Soccer Association also, I think, is an employee or works with the county Parks and Rec. And so he's very aware of what the rules are and, what is expected. And I think we're not even allowed to have fans at the match on Saturday, tomorrow. So before today, which is kind of a bombshell day in Florida because they announced that there was close to 9,000 positive cases confirmed yesterday, I think. And
crazy.
So, yeah, they more or less closed the local watering holes, which that'll hopefully help a bit. And then, we just kind of, not with I don't think our players are, part of the people who are most at risk. So based on that and the fact that they'll be doing something that hopefully, some of the things involved with playing a match, being out in the sun, getting a sweat, are the type of things that either prevent you from getting COVID or I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I really do leave it up to them and the scientists. I don't want to say one thing or the other, except for I feel like the county has somewhat of an idea about what they're doing. So we're not doing anything outside the rules that are provided to us at this time. Yeah. And as we know, these are strange times that could change hourly. You know, we could get a phone call today or tomorrow morning saying, you know, you can't do this, but hopefully not.
Really?
Yeah. So, no, obviously there's a lot of consideration. The players want to do it. The coaches want to do it. I am a little more indecisive about it, or maybe less indecisive. I don't know. But I feel like for a lot of our guys, myself included, there is a mental aspect to what we're going through right now. And I think as far as mentally, about mental health of players and fans and coaches and myself, it helps to have this as an outlet, you know. So are we making the right decision or the wrong decision? I don't know. But enough people are willing to do it and want to do it, and they're not the most at risk. So we're going to go forward.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to. You know, it's hard to determine, definitively, is this right? Is this wrong? You know, because there's just, like you said, so much to consider. But I'm excited that it seems like y'all are taking the right steps and making this happen in the right way, and excited to have soccer back. Excited to be able to stream it. That'll be exciting. We will be blasting that everywhere, supporting the Breakers. Come on, Breakers dudes. We will be supporting you guys, and hoping. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Hoping to get that win. If you're listening on the podcast, shame on you, because you should be listening to our video as well. But we got an awesome call sign there from Christian. We got a little hang loose going on the screen. But yeah, so hopefully you guys get that win, or maybe you'll just disappoint us again like you did in the E-Cup. But I am predicting a win, so just take that. Take that as you will. I'm predicting a Palm Beach Breakers win. Maybe that's really just a bad omen for y'all. Who knows? But
we'll take your support. And by the way, I think we have a better team than we've had in a while. We got guys from everywhere, including a guy from Scotland, Northern Ireland, Brazilians, Haitians, and Jamaicans, of course. Trying to think where else we got guys from. I mean, we got them from everywhere. One guy was actually supposed to play in USL League One, I think, and their team canceled. It was up in, maybe it's not USL League One, but it was a team up in North Dakota, I think. And maybe it was League Two.
Dakota Fusion, maybe NPSL.
Yeah, North Dakota Fusion. That's right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So his girlfriend has her family has a place down here, and he was like, "I'll just come down and play for the local team down there." So we're happy to have him. Yeah.
There you go. Shouts to this man's girlfriend. That's
right.
That's why I need a girlfriend. Anyway, but yeah, so that's pretty awesome. And looking forward to seeing this man and his girlfriend, who's brought him to Florida, play tomorrow in our feature match. And it's at 5 p.m. Eastern, correct?
5 p.m. Eastern, correct.
All right. So my Cujo, search up Palm Beach Breakers, 5 p.m. Check that out. Pass quality stuff.
After this. I'll send you the link to
good. Yeah, no, we'll get that too. So you can be official with it. Don't have to spend time searching stuff. But all right, so we will move into, well, ironically, Small World Score Sheet, which is where we take a look at scores from around the lower league soccer universe. Obviously, we're a little bit short on those right now. Last week we had quite a few out of the UPSL, because obviously they are back into play.
Right.
And we had one from UWS, which is like a women's league in their League 2. But neither of those have played since we last dropped an episode, because like I said, we dropped in the midweek because we did not have one last Saturday. So that being said, we'll take a look at some of the UPSL matches coming up, and there are quite a few. So there's one as of recording tonight. So by the time you guys see it tomorrow on Saturday, it will have already played. And this is in Texas. It is FC Harrington taking on Real Irving CD. Knowing nothing about either of these teams, Christian, who you got?
What are the names again?
FC Harrington, and they're playing Real Irving.
I am going to go with FC Harrington because
they are the home team.
Even though Inter was part of our name when we began and as a concept for Inter Miami, I'm kind of over the whole, taking a established European or South American name.
You don't like the reaction going on. Okay, all right. So FC Harrington. All right. So then that's our Friday game, and then we've got a whole slate of Saturday games. This one's in Florida, so maybe you've got a little bit more of an understanding. This is Leg A to Z Soccer International, which is a fantastic name.
Right.
Never heard of them. But it's just the biggest mouthful. I'll say that again in case you missed it. Leg A to Z Soccer International. That's the name. And they are playing a much easier to say Orlando Rovers, which is, again, a copy. So they're in fact, they copied Blackburn Rovers. I'm looking at their logo right now, and it's literally Blackburn Rovers. It just says Orlando Rovers where it usually says Blackburn. So who you got?
Yeah, so if both teams are biting off of existing European teams,
I don't think Leg A to Z is copying anybody.
Yeah,
there is
international, right?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Okay, but I gotta go Leg A to Z there. I gotta go.
No, me too. They better win the league. They better not lose a single game. I'm throwing my support behind Leg A to Z. No idea where they are.
You might have to have them on your podcast just to go through,
just to figure out what the heck they were thinking when they came. I want to know that story, man. I really do. I really do. And I mean, I would like to point out I am not of the legal age to drink alcohol. I'm not intoxicated. This is literally the name of this team. So I'm very intrigued to know more about that. Maybe we'll write a blog post or something. But yes, we're going Leg A to Z Soccer International to win that game. And all right, so next up we've got Royal Palms SC, which we know pretty well. It's SmallWorld, and then they're taking on OFC Barca, which again would be a copy of a European team. Who you got here?
I'm definitely going to go Royal Palms. I've actually followed their account, so. They seem like good guys, and it's an authentic thing they're trying to accomplish there.
Yeah, no, it is cool branding too. I like what they're doing. We gotta get a friendly scheduled. Palm Beach Breakers versus Royal Palms, man. I want to see that.
So they're just south of Daytona, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yep.
So we could actually meet halfway, even, which is they're a little south of there.
Yeah, there you go. You're making things happen, getting connections going. All right, so next up, Maca Ballers FC. They are playing Clay County SC, and I have no idea where either of those teams are.
I think Clay County.
Well, maybe you might be thinking of Clayton County.
Might be.
Yeah, because that is in Georgia. But no, this is Clay County. In fact, we're going to look it up. Where is Clay County? This is live right now, searching it up. Clay County. Trying to figure it out. Where are you at, Clay County? But yeah, I mean, I know nothing about either of these teams, but I think I'm going to have to go Clay on this one, even though I still have no idea where they are yet.
All right. I'll challenge you on this one. I'll go Maca Ballers.
So it does turn out they are in Florida. They're in the they're in the same division as Leg A to Z Soccer. If that gives you
information.
So yeah, it's also Royal Palms. So it looks like it's kind of the Orlando Daytona area. It's a few Orlando teams in here too. But Clay County, and then you're taking Maca. So we'll have to see who wins that one. We got a little bit of a dispute right now.
That's right.
We'll see who takes that one. That's at 6 p.m. And these are all Saturday except for that first one with Harrington. So next up, this is Barcelona Soccer Excellence. That's a quality team name there. Very original. They've taken on Houston FC, so this is in Texas. Who you got here?
I'm taking Houston all the way. You know, there are a couple of names that really get under my skin, and I'm not talking about club names, but when I see the name Elite or Excellence or I don't know, there's several other ones, it just completely turns me off. I'm like, how about you earn that and not put it in your name?
Right. Well, I mean, with a name like Excellence, it has to be good. No, I will say my one exception to that, because I do agree with you. My one exception is FC Austin Elite, which is a women's side out of UWS. I have had them on the podcast. They're awesome. They have earned the title of Elite, but yeah, pretty much nobody else.
Right.
But yeah, so we'll both go with Houston on that one. Next up, Diaspora United, CC, which I don't know what CC stands for. Community Club? I don't know. They're taking on Celta Gunners, which is definitely a ripoff of Celta Vigo. So what who you got here?
Yeah, I'll take. What was the first name again?
Diaspora.
Diaspora. Yeah. That just means a group of people from a different, like.
That's definitely what I meant.
People leaving a country and going to other places, yeah, I'll take that. Are they from Georgia?
They're not. I don't know where. If they're playing, I don't know. I think it is in Florida, but I don't know exactly where. But I wonder where their diaspora came from. I'm intrigued.
Good question.
Intriguing. Yeah, I might take the Gunners here. I'm not. I'm keen on Celta Vigo, so maybe Celta Gunners will be good too. All right, so yeah, so we'll do one more, and this is the Orlando Derby of sorts between Sporting Orlando and FK Orlando, which is did they just spell club with a K? I really don't know. FK Orlando, no idea.
FK. There's teams from like Sweden or
they're like Scandinavian.
FK, yeah, Norwegian.
Yeah, that is true.
FK Aalborg or something like that is probably the one that comes to mind.
Yeah.
I'll take FK. Sure.
Okay, I'm thinking Sporting. I like Sporting. I don't know why. They are the home team, so maybe that's why. Like that's gonna make a huge difference. But yeah, so that's I will hold you to those. We'll see how those turn out, and if I have more that are correct and feel good about myself, I will post them and assert my dominance. But that's what we'll do for Small World Score Sheet this week. And then I'd also like to get into one more segment, which is called Up Close and Personal, where we get to know Christian a little bit better. So we're going to put this man on the spot a little bit. Definitely did not tell him that this would be part of the show. But so essentially what we're going to do is kind of get to know your soccer story a little bit. So just kind of tell us about what, and I know you said you played in high school and college and that nobody wanted to hear about that, but as a matter of fact, we do want to hear about that. So just tell us a little bit about like what got you into soccer, what got you excited about, and then we'll get to know you even better than that with some foreshadowing there after you're done.
Okay, sounds good. So the first time I ever played soccer, I think I was like 7 years old or something.
Yeah.
And just had like a bad experience. So my mother was like, well, if you don't like get out there now, then you're not going to play soccer again. And so I did. And played American football, mostly some basketball, baseball, just kind of all around sport kind of guy. And then my senior year in high school, I actually decided to go out for the varsity soccer team. And
wow.
I was a good enough athlete in general, although not a very good soccer player, to make the team and actually play a lot. And I was the only player on our team that scored in the playoffs, the state playoffs. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was awesome. That was a little bit of a highlight. And
There you
I was
go.
playing up in Rome, Georgia for Darlington. And
Really? Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
so of course, being a small town, I was in the local paper and all
Yeah.
that. So that was fun.
Does Rome even have a paper?
Yeah, I think it's like the Rome Tribune or something like that.
Rome, tiny.
Yeah.
There's nothing there. No, I remember playing. I played for high school in Ackworth, and we
Yep.
traveled to Rome a couple times, and there's nothing there, man. I hated playing that school up there because there
Yeah.
was like nowhere to go. Because usually,
Yeah.
like, you finish a game and you're like, oh, let's get something to eat, while we're over here. In Rome, it's like, nope, like, might as well
Yeah.
just go home. That's the closest place. Like, it's just like there's nothing
They,
closer. Yeah,
yeah.
no, it's a
They
cool place.
literally roll up the streets at a certain time at night. It's like teeny tiny downtown. It's one street, 2-lane street or whatever. And
Yeah.
I don't think much has changed over the years.
Oh, I doubt it. No. A lot of North Georgia has, to be honest with you.
Right.
A lot bigger. But
Right.
Rome,
Yeah.
Rome is still pretty much the same as it was. But
So
yes.
then after high school, started going to college and just focused on that for a little bit, and then moved out to California, where my father lives, and played in a community college out there called Marin County.
Okay.
And yeah, we got to travel around a lot up in Northern California, play some teams from Sacramento and
Yeah.
and some other places, and that was a good experience. I don't have any big highlights from that time playing, because at that point, the guys that had been playing all their lives were significantly better than I was.
Yeah.
And so that was fun. And then kind of just didn't really do much with soccer until about 8 or 9 years later. And I started playing again in just like a pickup type capacity.
Yeah.
But that's when the bug really bit me.
Mm.
And I just like threw myself like full force back into soccer. And a buddy of mine was like, well, you got to pick an EPL team. I'm like, I don't know anything about these teams. But then I started like full on researching, and I was like, what team do I want to be a fan of? And it was like down to 2 teams. And I think it was either Liverpool or Arsenal and Fulham. And my buddy was like, dude, you can't be a glory hunter. You can't do that. You can't just jump on the bandwagon. And I was like, Fulham it is. And Brian McBride was one of my favorite players. So it was perfect. He was over there, Carlos Bocanegra. And then, of course, there was like a whole turnstile of Americans going through Fulham at the time. And with Dempsey, and others. And so that was awesome. It was fun to follow Fulham because there were so many Americans on the team. And at the same time, the local area I was living in, which was the Florida Panhandle, the county I was in, which is Walton County, they needed somebody to run the youth soccer program. And I had emailed them about the field that the adult pickup team was playing on. And I was like, man, could you guys do something to make the field better? And the guy who ran the county Parks and Rec was like, funny, you should contact me. Blah, blah, blah. He's like, let's go have lunch. I'm buying. And I was like, no, I think you got the wrong guy. I'm not interested in running a youth program. I'm not interested in any of that. And he's like, just do it this one time. We'll pay for everything. We'll handle the marketing, the signups, and all that. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll give it a run. Right. And there again, another bug bit me. And after being a part of it for one season, and so many parents and kids showing their appreciation, and they were like, can we do this again because it was in the fall, can we do this again in the spring? And I was like, I don't know, let me check with the county. And the county was like, do whatever you want. And so it ended up being a fall and spring recreational season. We started an academy. We did a summer tournament. We did a summer camp. We did a winter camp. I mean, it became year-round soccer for this county that had only up to that point, and this was in 2006 or 7.
Yeah.
Up to that point, if they had 6 weeks of soccer in a whole year, that was it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was awesome.
Familiar with the Panhandle. I have family up there. Yeah, in Milton. So not far.
No, not far at all. Yeah. It's a beautiful area. The beaches are the best. And cool the place. People are pretty genuine. So I like that.
Yeah. They're country, but they're genuine. Yeah.
The further north you go in the Panhandle, it's like.
Oh, yeah. Close to get to Alabama, really. That's really just, it stems in Alabama and it just spreads out from there, I think.
Yeah, lower Alabama for sure.
Right. And it makes sense because Rome is right near the border of Alabama too, actually. Think about it.
True.
Pretty country too. It's all making sense now. It's coming full circle. But yes. But yeah, and all that to say, really cool. And I will say also, youth soccer is one of the most rewarding things I have ever been a part of, period. Coaching youth soccer is awesome. And I've done the same thing at a recreational level. And there's no pressure on winning or anything like that at all. It has nothing to do with that. Just literally the interaction with those kids is amazing. So much fun. Yeah, totally know where you're coming from. But yeah, no, just getting bid with that bug and wanted to do something with that bigger. You know, that's really cool. And I think a common theme of a lot of people in this community too, from around the country, around the world even, that just end up in the want to start a soccer team for their own unique reason, you know, but they're all bitten by that one bug that's like, man, soccer is the thing that I want to do. And I just, it's been so cool to embark on this project, you know, with Small World, that I never imagined how many people had these awesome stories and these awesome clubs that they're running. It's just hearing your story reminds me of so many others that are just really cool. So yeah, appreciate all your work to make lower league soccer possible in West Palm Beach. Cool to kind of hear that background. But I cannot let you go before I agonize you a little bit about your childhood. So what? I just saw your face. But so this is the tradition that we've done on the podcast with everybody that's come on. And so I'll have you describe your childhood for us in 3 different ways. And you do not have a choice. This is not optional. So the first one I'll have you do is describe your childhood in one food, and one food only. Dude, this is very serious.
This is a great question. And the food has to be hot dogs, because to this day, I still eat one of my favorites, especially a chili dog.
It's quality, man. Hot dog. It is this stuff. It's so good. Okay, and so I have to ask you. I've had a couple of times I've had mac and cheese, and now this is, I think, the second time I've had hot dogs. But I had one guy on the show who told the food that he said was mac and cheese with hot dog inside the mac and cheese. Have you ever had that? Because I'd never heard of this.
My sister loved mac and cheese.
Okay.
I hated mac and cheese until this day. I still don't eat a lot of mac and cheese.
It's a weird texture. It's something about the texture is weird to me. Yeah.
I'm a total texture person, so it must be people that are texture.
Yes.
Smart people. Yeah. But my sister has had mac and cheese with hot dogs, and she probably still does to this day.
Okay. Yeah. So it's a real thing. We can vouch for it. Okay. Yeah. So he's not crazy. That's all I really cared about. But cool. He is Mississippi. He runs Mississippi Bria. Like really actually not far from the Panhandle.
Bria actually competed in our summer tournament.
Did they really? That's hilarious. Yeah, no, they have an awesome system there. That is a deep system. Yeah, they have a lot of cool stuff going on. Yep.
And coaches were super nice and respectful, and so were the players.
Yeah. That whole organization, top to bottom, from all my interaction with them, has been really high quality. But and now you know Rusty Bryant, who owns the club, is a fan of mac and cheese with hot dogs in it. That's
fantastic.
The more you know. This is an informational podcast here. This is not just entertainment. This is high quality information.
I love it.
Yeah, everyone else does too. But so next, I'll have you describe your childhood in one TV show. Yeah, it's getting real now.
Yeah,
the hat's coming off.
That's right. I got to really dig deep on this one. One TV show. It's probably, I don't know. Gilligan's Island, maybe?
Okay. That's surprisingly, that's the first time I've heard that one. And that's honestly, that's a pretty good shout. It was a little bit past my time. Growing up, obviously, it wasn't. I'm a little young to have really seen it, but I hear great things.
Yeah. No, I mean, there's probably at least 10 I could have gone through.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But when I think of when you were growing up, I think younger. So it was definitely not toward the teen years, but before that.
Yeah. Yep. No, that's awesome. That's really cool. So yeah, Gilligan's Island. That's a good shout. And then final question. Describe your childhood for us in just one phrase. One phrase.
What?
One phrase.
Phrase. So can it be a phrase from a song?
Yes, you can.
So I'm gonna choose the phrase from an Australian song by Chumbawamba.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
I get knocked down, I get up again.
There you go. All right, so like what made you choose that?
Growing up is just kind of a roller coaster. So, you learn to roll with the punches or else, you're going to really be in a bad spot. And while I had some good highs, there were lows. And so you just got to get through that. And that's probably what helps you get through life as you're an adult. So, yeah.
No, and I mean, you really do. You look back on those childhood moments. I'm noticing that now, really for the first time in my life. Like I look back and I'm like, oh yeah, like that's what motivates me to get back up in this situation. As I look forward to really big things, like you really do. You revert back to those childhood moments where you had to pick yourself back. Yeah, I like.
And it teaches you if you could get through that, then you can get through.
You can get through it. That's right. Yeah, that motivational speaker level stuff from Christian. Man, this is a multi-talented man. He is experienced in law. He is a soccer legend, just a motivational speaker.
I haven't even told you about the Eric Winalda interview yet.
well, what is this? Wait, I gotta know this story.
Well, you can dig deeper after this, but there was an interview with Eric Winalda at in Tampa back in 2006, I think. And it was prior to the U.S. getting ready to go play in the World Cup.
Yeah.
And it created a little bit of a firestorm because Winalda said a few things, especially about who's the guy on ESPN. He's kind of a loudmouth and small guy. But Winalda said pretty much that he was going to kick his butt. And the next thing you knew, the next day or after we printed the interview, the guy had Winalda on the telephone. He's like, do I have to worry about you coming to kick my butt and all this? And ESPN didn't want to have a lot to do with it. So I don't know. Things ensued.
Well, things do generally tend to ensue. That's good. It's a good life lesson. All you kids watching today, remember, things tend to ensue. That's about the best way to wrap up our podcast.
Or what is it? For every action, there's a equal and opposite reaction or something like that.
And like a physics teacher over here too, man. This is a modern day Renaissance man that I'm speaking with right now. Man, that's crazy. That's crazy. But yeah, it's so how can people follow you in Palm Beach Breakers? Not you. We want to follow the club.
Yeah. So
Or
on
you.
all,
That's fine too. We can follow you. Whatever. Hey, whatever you want to do.
no, I don't have personal accounts on social media except for Facebook.
That's
Oh,
shameful.
and Instagram. Well, not on Twitter then.
Oh,
So anyway, please follow our club at sign the Breakers AFC, and it is the same on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. And
easy.
love to have more people following us, whether you necessarily support us or not. But I think once you follow us, you'll like what you see, and hopefully as well.
I can vouch for that. Yes, no, high quality content coming out of the Breakers social accounts for sure on all of them, but especially on Twitter, which is kind of SmallWorld's domain. But yeah, no, a huge fan of what the Breakers are doing. I would assume you are too now after having heard our conversation. How could you not be? I have had an absolute fantastic time having you on, Christian. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for presenting the Breakers today and sharing a laugh with me. Very excited to hopefully have some more people learn a bit more about the Breakers. And yeah, hope to do it again sometime, man. Had a blast.
Anytime, Danny. Absolutely. And if I get up to Atlanta again soon, we'll have to go have a Sprite or something.
Yeah, root beer. Yeah. Yeah,
definitely. All right, man.
Sounds good, man.
Appreciate it so much. Appreciate you having us on.
Absolutely, man. Thank you guys for listening to today's episode of the Small World Soccer Report. Thank you to Game On Sports Podcast for everyone for broadcasting all of our podcasts. And for those of you watching on YouTube, thanks to Game On for making that possible too. Thank you to Christian, of course, and Palm Beach Breakers. Thank you to everyone in the world. Just thank you. You rock. Thank you for listening, and thank you for supporting. You guys can, well, you know where to follow us. SWSoccer_Danny on Twitter, smallworldsoccer.home.blog on our website. And that's about it, guys. Stay weird, everyone, and see you all next time.